Hello, this is Aline from MasterYourWeb. You're watching HTML tutorial for absolute beginners, and in this video we will dive into text formatting. So let's begin. So text formatting is nothing but a way to make our text fancier. The main purpose is to add an extra importance to the specific text so that it will become more catchy. Right now we will go through the most important text formatters. And for that, we will open Visual Studio Code and we will start writing them down. I will right click on the project, I will open with the code, and we have our old project, which we will delete. So, as I mentioned, we will start with the most important text formatters. And the first one is the bold text. And the syntax for it is going to be like opening tag. We will have a B from bold text. And then we will close the tag. Oops. Okay. And inside of it, we will write, this is my bold text. Right? Let's try to save it, minimize Visual Studio Code, and open it to the browser. So you can see that the text is being bolded. And as a comparison to that, let's actually try to create like a normal paragraph. Okay. Okay. This is my normal paragraph. Let's try to save it so that we have a comparison between those two, right? So I think that the comparison is pretty visible. So the bold text is usually used in order to make our text look more important. That's the main purpose of the bold text. And this is our first formatter. The next one is going to be the italic text. And for that, we will have the opening tag, then we will write the letter E from italics, and we will close it. And inside of it, we will write, this is my italic text. Let's actually save it. Go into the browser, hit reload, and boom, this is my italic text. After doing some research, I found a list of examples on when to use italics, because italics more or less have the same purpose as the bold texts, which is basically emphasizing something, but not as much as the bold texts do. So if you're interested in all of the cases in which we use italic formatter, then I'm gonna share a link in the video description. Next, we move on to our underline formatter. We will hit enter and we will write U from underline. And inside of it we will write, this is my underline text. Same thing applies. Okay, so this is my underline text. And also this is going to be useful for emphasizing important information. Another formatter present is going to be the mark text. And for that, we will have opening tag, we will write mark, closing tag, and inside of it, this is my mark text. Let's try to save it. When we go into the browser, we can see that it's marked. Then, if we want to emphasize that a certain information is not available or relevant anymore, we have another tag, which is called the strike text. In order to do so, we will open the HTML tag and we'll write strike, close it, hit enter, and we will write, this is my strike text. Let's try to save it, and boom, here it is. Next we have two formatters which are being used mostly for maths, and that is the superscript and the subscript. Next we will write sub from superscript, and inside of it we will write, this is my superscript text. And also we will have another tag with sub from subscript, and we'll write, this is my subscript text. Let's try to save it and go into the browser. Alright, so you can see that the superscripted text is basically displayed above the normal level of the text. And the subscript one is quite the opposite, and it's basically, it means that it's displayed lower than the regular text format. And the two other important text formatters that we will learn today is gonna be the big, something like this, and we will say that this is my big text. And then quite the opposite, as you might have guessed, it's gonna be the small. Okay, and inside of it, this is my small text. Let's try to save it and go into the browser to see. Alright, so basically this is my big text is a lot bigger than the regular text formatter, and quite the opposite applies for the smaller one. So this would be like the most important text formatters. Of course that there are others, because the HTML ecosystem is a really big one, but for most developers those ones are more than enough. I personally haven't used superscript or subscript at all in a real life scenario, so yeah, most of those will be enough for the majority of us. Great, now you know what time it is. It's time for our exercise. And for that, the first exercise that we will be tackling today is going to be to print the squares of numbers from 1 to 10. Each number should be on a separate line, and next to it we will have number 2 superscripted, and after that we will have the equal sign and basically the result. So as an example, we will have like the number 5, and next to it we will have the number 2 superscripted, and after that we will have an equal, and we will manually write the result. We won't go into computations so far because we only want to tackle the text formatters. So that's our first exercise. The next problem is going to be to print a text which is emphasizing a word in 3 different ways. So we will have 3 different words emphasized in a different way. Those will be the 2 exercises that we will be doing today, and we will see each other in about 15 seconds. Good luck! Great, let's tackle the first exercise. So for that, I will hit enter a couple of times. So the first thing that we gotta do is we gotta print the numbers from 1 to 10, each one on a separate line. So for that we will start creating paragraphs. Okay, and I will copy the paragraph tag about 9 times. I think it's gonna be enough. Then inside of it we will have to write the numbers from 1 to 10. So we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, great. Let's actually take a look into the browser. Alright, so the first point is solved. We basically printed out the 10 numbers, each on a separate line. That's good. And then the next thing was to have the number 2 superscripted, right? And for that, right next to each number, we will have the opening tag of sup from superscript, and then the closing tag, and we will put 2 inside. We will copy this guy over here, and we will go into each row separately, and we will do the same. Okay, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, let's try to save it and look into the browser. Great, it looks really good. And then on each number we have to add like an equal sign. Okay, it might take a while. Okay, then we have the equal sign, and then we will manually do the maths. So it's gonna be a 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. Save that, and let's actually look at what we have done. Great, awesome, good. So that's basically how should we do the first exercise. All right, and basically what we have done is we've created like a bunch of paragraphs. so that we make sure that each number is on a separate line. And then we have used the superscript tag to make sure that we have this number over here, and then we basically manually edit the result. That was the first exercise. And the second one, so the question was to print a text which is emphasizing a word in 3 different ways. So we will have 3 different words emphasized in a different way. Okay, so let's actually write a text, something like, today is a really good way to learn web development! Exclamation mark. Let's try to save it. Okay, now we have our text. So basically we should use like 3 different text formatters, and I'm gonna be choosing the bold. So I will try to bold the today. Then I will try to use italic, and for instance, I've written today is a good day. Today is a good day, not way. And we will go with the italic over here to mark the good day. And to learn web development, we will make it big. Okay. And we will save it, go into the browser. Great. So you can see that we have basically the bold text, then we have the normal text, then we have the italic text, normal text again, and the big text. Great, so that was all related to our exercises today. One important note when it comes to those text formatters, it's gonna be really important to not overuse them, because by overusing them, they will lose their effect. It's basically like having a page full of bold text, right? You won't make any impact whatsoever. So make sure that you use them with caution. Great, that will be all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and in the next one we will be covering links. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the content and if you consider that it's at least 1% relevant, then please leave a like, a share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you on the next one.